Welcome back to another Majorem Paradigm talk. To um, Here I go. I'm about to start talking as soon as I think of what I'm going to start talking about. Um, I think I'm just going to make videos like this every day. No, as little effort as possible. Really, just me talking. Still gonna upload them, but it's really just gonna be me figuring out how to address everything. But I'm gonna start off today's talk with my relationship with God. Uh, Basically, I'm gonna say one thing about God, and is that there's a better way than God. And it's the Majorem Paradigm. The Majorem Paradigm is the underlying force of good and evil. It's the underlying force of good against evil rebranded. And instead of rebranded as the underlying force, it is the brand. It is the what it's basically a good background for you, and you can hold each person to the background equally, but not equally, because life changes, right? Ah, wow. Well, I fucked that analogy up, didn't I? You can pick out during your evaluation of them the Majorem Paradigm and say, okay, we know this guy's good. Where's the good? And if it's not there, then you feel it. You say, okay, what's not here? The Majorem Paradigm, or the philosophy of the Majorem Paradigm. And it's awkward. Um, some ideas are based off of good, like very basic. You have to eat, you have to drink, right? So if someone says drink some water, you already know the ideas behind it. You know it's not going to kill you. So it can be digested as a feeling without having to pick it apart down to the very was the very bare bones of the analogy, or of the statement. Because everyone should drink water, but if that statement is past what we think of as the norm, then it will get dry after a while. So if someone's if you're 3 and your mom's reminding you to drink water, that might be one thing. But if someone keeps telling me to drink water when I don't need to, this is just an example of how it might get dry, right? And uncomfortable. Then you can react accordingly. But if there is not a defining of the basic description of good, then we can't set a clear stage for explaining good and bad. There is a way. How close we are is unknown. To live without pain. Some people, though, we know are not open to ideas, and also not very let's just say mindful for now. That the actions of continuously ignoring the evidence that an action did not benefit society as a whole and continue to do those things. You have to listen. First of all, I want to say that no matter what anyone else says, there's always a way back to society. You're not going to be cast out from society. There will always be something better. That comes along that makes you worthwhile to society again. And you have to believe that. With that being said, people need to change their ways. The Majorem Paradigm is a way to do that. You can track and map and explain down to its very core. With the Majorem Paradigm, though, it is a key factor. Only in its deeper study can you find that. But as I go throughout these talks, I will show you. I will show you. Anything can be broken down into numbers of people. How long did it take for it to pay off? We can break things down, and if we vote on it together, that's the best way to go about it, right? With the Majorem Paradigm, it is a feeling of what is happening at the very moment that can be seen clearly and felt clearly to a certain degree. When things get confusing, though, we have measures like patience to a certain, standard. Can't wait around forever. But people who run through these immediately, it's not fair. And if everyone did that, there would be chaos. I'm going to say something right now that seems bold, and it is bold. It takes work to make progress on it. There is no guarantee that this will work. But we have to work. And, it's good work. I like it. I like the work. What can I say? I really do. I enjoy it. It's brought me closer and brought me answers. And it's not something you have to bring up each time. In fact, it would get dry if you brought it up each time you talked about good and evil. However, its genesis is definitely something to be mindful of, and something definitely to come back to and to pay attention to as it grows. Segue, short little segue detour. Like, subscribe, maybe buy. Back on track, back onto the regularly scheduled whatever. We already have a vague Majorem paradigm. People call it God, and people just talk into it. They form it and shape it with laws and what they think of that person's outfit. Big things, little things. They say, well, I think we should be more focused on fashion on fashion. That's an underlying message you can pull out of it. Uniting people around this brand of good, it's pretty freaking scary. Like, all of the, you can define it as God, you can define it as your conscience. Letting every person's conscience with wearing this brand will help me seek out fairness and equality is probably pretty scary to some people who don't want that, who haven't followed that. Like rapists, murderers. I could go on forever. We don't need to go into the specifics right now. But That's up to us. And how far should we push it? Now listen, if you ask me, you don't need to put the Majorem Paradigm on every single space of reality. But just one thing on your person and maybe one thing on your home. Like a flag. I'm going to be making some flags. Keep out for them. Alright, I had the YouTube plug in the middle, had the merch plug at the end. I think I'm done for today.